Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's NBA betting today. It's my guy knows a guy. How's it going? Yep, my charger actually wasn't even in. Let's get straight to it. I didn't actually like what happened with Paul George. No idea he would even. There's no way I could have known Paul George would have missed today, but at least they didn't tell us that right before the game. We have time to attack. How's it going? Big play, Devin, Keenan. How you guys doing this evening? Let's get to it. Let's get to some NBA games. I'm going to pull up the odds and try to go through each of the games game by game. If you have any questions on the games, if you're building any tickets, props, anything, just ask me a question in the chat. We can probably slow it down right now at this hour and just try to come up with the best solutions that we can. You see how they're playing it with the injury reports. It only makes sense to stream later. Shout out to everyone that was with us on Twitter Spaces yesterday. It wasn't really feeling the best the last couple of days. Feel great today. Back to the streaming, back to NBA betting today. Felix, how's it going? Mario C. Karch, how's it going? So I'm gonna actually pull up the odds on sportx.bet. We can just talk about the games, and I'll pull up some of the stats and I'll add the plays that I have listed. I have maybe 5 more plays to add, smaller plays. We can talk about the Sixers Celtics game. We can still talk about the Kings Clippers, even though Paul George is out in that game. The line for me is a bit suspicious still. If you're here, if this is your first time watching, hit the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Twitter, come over to YouTube and subscribe. Hit the like button for me. Let's get to it. What's up, Danny, my guy? Big play. Michael. Mario, let's go. Let's go. What'd you guys bet today? Moneyline Cam. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it. All right, so I'm gonna pull up some of the odds. Give me a second. Give me a second. Put on a Suns hat. Have you ever seen a Suns hat in real life? Have you guys ever seen a Suns hat in real life? Let me ask you that. We have the Magic and the Nuggets. Okay, so as we look into this game, the Nuggets have not really turned the corner, but Jokic was activated at the last second against Miami. Essentially took everyone's money. He played at a very high level, but they also had a secondary performance from Aaron Gordon in that game. He put up 20 points. His performance offensively has been very inefficient so far this season, but out of necessity, out of force, with Michael Malone, I'm sure he asked him to shoot much more. He put up about 12 shots in that game. Cole Anthony is back. He's not on a minutes restriction. Let me pull up the odds. No minutes restriction for Cole Anthony tonight. I'm looking at maybe Wendell Carter over 12.5. Wendell Carter over 12.5 in this game. I think he may have an advantage minutes-wise because he's going to be deployed in situations where Jokic is getting rest a lot of the time with the emergence of Mo Bamba. There might be value. I know the double-double has been trendy for Wendell Carter as well, but maybe if you separate them and just take his points in this situation, I was actually looking at that. Let me just pull up the screen share. Hope everyone feels great. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that Bam is out, thumb injury. From what I'm seeing, he's going to be out until through January. Bam Adebayo is going to be out until through January. This is going to be an injury report team, kind of like the Clippers last year. That's just how it's going to be with the Heat. They have a lot of moving parts. It's a very old team, not including Bam Adebayo, but just be kind of wary. A lot of line movement, a lot of late scratches, late injury news with this team. There's going to be a lot of injury report manipulation with the Miami Heat going forward. We already see it. But we're getting to that hour. Let me pull up the. Don't know why it's not working. Okay, it's working now. Okay, you guys should be able to see the odds. We have the Denver Nuggets against the Orlando Magic. The spread is -7.5. I was just talking about the increased usage and shot making of Aaron Gordon in this game. I still think the Nuggets can cover against this Magic team. I think they've gone full tank mode. Franz Wagner has been a very, very promising development for them. He scored 27 points. He's been an over machine on his props, but it's slowly getting graded up. I think it's 13.5 now from as low as 11.5 just maybe 2 weeks ago. He's scoring. But when it comes to Jokic, if he plays his normal amounts of minutes, I don't see them stopping Jokic. I think he's going to be able to get whatever he wants. He's going to be able to drag the bigs of the Magic out to the three-point line, but maybe a lower scoring game here. Maybe a lower scoring game. I still think this Nuggets team is going to try to take a lot of these games seriously. They are now the overlooked team when it comes to the teams in the Western Conference that made the playoffs last year. Just look at how the roster has been decimated. But when you look at this, how this Magic team has been performing, I see maybe the Nuggets pulling this out late on the spread and a lower scoring game here. The Nuggets have still been a pretty good defensive team. When Jokic is playing. They had that slide, obviously, when he's out, but when he's in the game, he's able to dictate tempo. How do you guys feel about this Nuggets? How do you feel about the Nuggets Magic game today? Any money on this today? Brandon, what's up? Bargov, how's it going, bro? Bargov, yeah. How's it going? Big play. Let's get it. Kazmat. Yeah, so how do you guys feel about the Nuggets and the Magic? Any plays in this game? Share them. Jokic PRA plus 45.5. He should get there. It really hinges on whether or not you think the Nuggets are going to cover this game. In terms of minutes for Jokic to hit the full PRA. I'm going to pull up some box scores from the last game as well. And I'll move on to the next game. The games I don't really have too much on. It's only like one or two. I'll go by them kind of quickly. But yeah, it's -8 right now. As you can see, the line on SportX is still 7.5. I'm seeing 8 at other books. Mo Bamba boards. Let's take a closer look, because I do think it's going to be a lower scoring game today. It's a bit counterintuitive with Cole Anthony returning, but I think it's going to be a bit of a lower scoring game. Aaron Gordon playing against his old team, pulling up his props and stuff. Hold on. Jay Betts, what's up, bro? Got to get you on. He said he's dabbling. He's dabbling with the league. Okay, so, yeah, in this game, I think maybe Aaron Gordon, I know he's playing against his old team. If it's a lower scoring game, maybe Gordon's points under in this one. I know people are looking for plays all over the place, but maybe Jokic over 1.5 threes as well. That's plus money. When he plays against these younger bigs, he likes to stretch the floor. He's a true stretch big. He's inside, outside, but it's possible if he gets his normal minutes in this game, 32, 33 minutes, that over 1.5 threes might be in play right here. We can move on from this game. Not too much else in this one. On this one, the Orlando Magic are a 4-18 basketball team. There's not too much to expect from them, but they're going to surprise a couple of teams over the course of the season. I mean, they're not going to be trash forever. There's ups, there's downs. So just be wary about some of these bottom feeder teams on the face of it. They're laughing at the Suns cap. It's a joke, though. Someone who's watching this knows. It's a joke. Okay, we're going to move on to the Wizards and the T-Wolves. Let's talk about the Wizards and the T-Wolves. Going to add a play for this game. Let me bring up the refreshed odds. Hit the like button for me, everyone. Hit the like button for me. Let's continue. So yeah, we know Anthony Edwards has been activated in this game. I lean towards the T-Wolves first half. First half +3, I believe it is. +2.5. It's with him in the lineup. I believe that, this Wizards team at home, on the face of it, they had a hot start to the season. So a lot of their numbers ATS are inflated. I feel like the T-Wolves could take this one in the first half. Full game, I don't really have too much on this one, but I was also looking at Kyle Kuzma's rebounds. I've seen that he's been rebounding at a very high rate against a team that likes to run up and down the floor, where they're essentially utilizing Kyle Kuzma as a 4 for more than 50% of the minutes when he's on the court. It is a bit graded up. It's a bit graded highly right now, overgraded at 8.5. Kuzma's rebounds, but I think Kuzma can still hit the rebounds against this T-Wolves team. On the T-Wolves side, I like T-Wolves in the first half. The second half, I really believe it's up in the air because they are a very bad team at the end of games. They're a very bad team at the end of games, the T-Wolves. They just can't finish. They were able to hold on. The Pacers was an anomaly to me. I'm talking about holding large leads. We saw what happened in that game against the 76ers. If people have been watching the T-Wolves, they still have to get over the hump of being able to hold on and win by margin at the end of games, in my eyes. In my eyes. Try to add a few plays in this game as well, but I looked at this one closely. I lean towards the over. I feel like I got the worst number. You know? I didn't bet it. It's 218, but I think we're going to get points in this game. This T-Wolves team, they play a free-flowing game on the road. They're young. Their defense is not as good on the road. The Wizards team, they're starting to shoot a bit better from three. They're coming off that loss against the Spurs, though. It was horrible. Horrible for them. But they haven't won in San Antonio since 1999. You know? So this is a tight line. If you're betting the Wizards in this game, I can't say that's a bad bet for the full game, but I'd be wary maybe in the early onset of this game because the T-Wolves, they know that they didn't get lucky, but the Pacers jumped out there on them. The Pacers jumped out there. And they're going to try to emphasize getting off to a better start. What's going on, Akbar? Maxey over 3.5 assists. Okay, we're going to get to that Sixers Celtics game as well. Another game, we'll pull up the status with, let me see some late statuses right now. Pull up some late statuses. So Jaylen Brown is in. He's expected to be limited to around 32 minutes. I don't think that that's much of a limit, 32 minutes. That's still above average, especially in the NBA. I know he's a star. Jaylen Brown will play today. Dennis Schroeder will also play today. Robert Williams will have his minutes restricted today against the 76ers. Okay, the line is -2. The total right now has changed to 206.5. Make sure that's correct. I just had the tab in the background. 206.5. We have Jaylen Brown activated. Injured star theory might be in effect here on the total. I told myself I'm not going to bet on very many 76ers regular season games for the rest of the season. I'm just not going to do it. I feel like the second half results are far too erratic, and their games might be designed for live betting purposes. I'm talking about pregame. It might only be live to bet on 76ers games in the regular season, live betting, because erratic things happen. They go up by 20, give up 20-point leads. They're down by 20, come back from 20. It's almost every other game. Don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. Might have to call my dog Sosa, ask him what's going on. Yeah, you're right, Jamrocks. 76ers first half money line. Money is first half has been a machine. Embiid has looked great though. Embiid has looked great. Immediately played a double overtime game in his first game back. This is a team that he has a lot of familiarity against, playing in the same division and a playoff series against this Boston team when he was a bit younger. This Embiid's going to want to show up against these guys. Al Horford joined the Sixers for a bit. There are connections on these teams. Josh Richardson. Embiid, though, let's see if he stays consistent in terms of going over his points total. We know he likes to show up for these games. Brown coming off the injury. I know people were taking Tatum props early in the day thinking Brown might not play today. I was actually looking at his three-point prop, Jason Tatum. Okay? Shout out to Simba. Marcus Smart over 5.5 assists might be a play as well. It's juiced now. The books, they've already graded for the fact that he's essentially a point guard now, Marcus Smart. He's the de facto point guard for the Celtics. Let me pull up a couple other players I had listed that I think may perform in this game because I did project points, but this is before the Jaylen Brown activation. It's counterintuitive, but it's with a low total and a star like him coming back, it's tough to say. It's tough to say if this game's going to go over now. It's tough to say. Yeah, so Seth Curry, he's been hot right now. I know he's been on a tear. He's at a size disadvantage though against this basically the wings that the Celtics have. You know, if you're taking Seth Curry's props today over and forcing it on a parlay or something, maybe his streak comes to an end today of him going over his 3-point prop. I had that listed. Maxi, I project him to have a pretty good game today. You know, coming off a dud after cashing for the public continually for quite some time, actually. For quite some time, Maxi's probably the one to look at today. Maybe Maxi and the Sixers win. Counterintuitive play. Pays big. Maxi with the Sixers win. I'm not playing the Sixers win. It's a regular season game, but someone's asking me for my lean. So Poppy said Embiid double doubles minus 135. Super juice. They're expecting it. Danny Green's another one. Danny Green's a player that performs well against Boston historically. He could go over his points, 3-point prop of 1.5, which I believe is plus money. If you guys could look that up for me in the chat, look up Danny Green's 3-point prop for tonight's game against the Boston Celtics. I do think the Sixers have a great shot at winning this game, though. A great shot at winning this game. Embiid is going to go into Jokic mode. He's going to go into Jokic mode where he carries these guys for about a month and a half. You know? Just really wary. Really wary here. Just sharing my thoughts, though. You're asking for my thoughts. It's not plus money. It's minus 119, minus 120. I think I'm going to play that, everyone. Danny Green over 1.5 threes against the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, against the Boston Celtics. Sorry. It's minus 120. Yeah, I'm going to play that. Might be one of those we cash early. You never know. I like perimeter players, perimeter role players that have veteran roles like Danny Green, Jay Crowder. You know, I like these sorts of players because they like to play against good teams, you know. They kill the public with their props against teams like the Thunder, playing teams like on the road at the Kings, you know. But they play these more marquee teams in the league. These vets, they kind of show up with it when it comes to their shooting performances. I don't know. That's something I've been noticing. Someone check on that Danny Green over 1.5 threes with the Sixers win. Thanks for watching the show, everyone. Got 100 people watching right now. Hit like for me. Let's get 50 to 100 likes before we get off. We're going to go through all the games. I'm in a slower crawl right now, but just looking at the news as it's coming in, locking in some bets with you, and I'll tweet some stuff as well. Make sure you're following the page. My guy knows my page. My guy knows a guy, but also the show's page, NBA Betting Today. Subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. Visit sportx.bet, the platform that you see on the screen. You can earn crypto while you're betting on sports. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, Josh Hart's a game time decision for today. Let's move on. Let's move on from the Sixers game. Leroy's saying Christian Wood. We're going to get to that Rockets game. I might need some revenge against these Rockets today. The Thunder, they shot, 2 for 30 from 3 the other day? If anyone tailed, holy. The Thunder, they stunk it up against the Rockets the other night. I did not expect that. Christian Wood went ballistic. At the end of the day, the Thunder do not have a quality, serviceable big. He's supposed to exploit that matchup. But that was a horrendous three-point shooting performance for any professional basketball team. Everyone who's watching, give me about 30 seconds. I'm just going to take a drink of water. We're going to move on to the Miami Heat, Cleveland Cavaliers game, and the Bucks game. I have a pick to add in the Bucks game, actually. Give me about 30 seconds. I'm going to drink some water. Actually, just bring a bottle of water here. Oh yeah, back. I had to refresh myself. You know how it is. You know how it is. Hey, I'm going to be posting a pick on the channel as well for college football this weekend. I have one pick that I have circled for the championship games this weekend for all the people that do bet on college football. That's a side note. Let's get back to the NBA games. We have the Heat and Tristan said he's been seeing Leroy around. He's been seeing Leroy around. He's locking in his picks. All right, Leroy, I'm going to write them down. A lot of picks he's sharing in the chat. Let me know what you guys like in the chat. A lot of information rolling in right now. Jordan Nwora is probable for the Bucks game. I'm sure that's significant for someone. DFS world. So we have the Heat and the Cavaliers, okay? Bam Adebayo has a torn UCL. That's a ligament in his thumb, which requires surgery, an immediate surgery, actually. And he's going to be out until at least the end of January, okay? Dwayne Dedmon's going to have to play a lot of time. Get ready for Dwayne Dedmon props. Dwayne Dedmon props will be available. Yeah, this Miami Heat team is going to be an injury report rotation team for the foreseeable future. Players in, players out. They're going to be a team that you're essentially going to have to wait until tip-off to bet on unless you have a good hunch on them. Now, out of respect, they are still favorites for today. But we do know that Jimmy Butler is out. We have the news about Bam Adebayo. He is out. Tyler Hero is in. This Cavs team has been on a tear. This Cavs team's on a tear. They've been making people a lot of money. But this line is now over-adjusted. They're not some huge underdog now. I'm actually pulling up some of their metrics on the road, their metrics against the money line. They've been printing money, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Shout out to anyone that's been riding with the Cavs, too. People have been taking the money line blind. Blind. Another pick in the chat by Leroy. Mo Bamba, over 7.5 rebounds. 70% hit rate. Straight up. What's up, Akbar? Some agua. Some agua. Should be a fun night of NBA games. Pulling up something else for you. Some stats on the screen. So this is one of the resources I use to cap the games sometimes. It's called teamrankings.com. No affiliation by me. So I'm just pulling up the odds on the screen. Maybe you'll find them useful as well. Just zooming into some macro stats for the Cavs and the Heat. You can just zoom in a bit, I guess, you know. As we can see, the Cavs are 7-2-1 ATS so far this season on the road, okay? They've been machines. They essentially are defying modern basketball. They're playing three bigs at times. Evan Mobley is ahead of his development curve, okay? But this Heat team, let's ask ourselves with this roster they're putting out today and the way the Cavs are playing, is it simply out of respect for the Heat that they're even favored in this scenario? Like, are the Heat even supposed to be favored? The fact that they still are they going to come through and crush these guys? They still have a pronounced shooting edge. Okay? Let's pull up some of the stats of these three teams over the last three games, particularly on the Cavs side. This is going to be more useful for people looking at the Cavs because of the new lineup, okay? It's difficult to accurately assess recent Miami Heat stats with the amount of lineups that they're putting forth. Different lineups. So the recent stats are diluted. We know that they're a powerful team. Injured star theory might be in effect today, though. You know, -2.5 Miami. Let me know what you guys think. So over the last three games, the Cavs they have a scoring differential of 8.7. They have increased their fast break points. Okay, this is not a coincidence since they've reintegrated Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley loves to play in the fast break. He gets a large portion of his points in transition. His defense also creates transitional points. Okay, so we've seen an uptick in fast break points for the Cavs. Without Bam, the route to victory for the Heat tonight is to speed up the game. Okay, I still think the Heat can cover tonight because of the fact of regression, natural regression for this Cavs roster. I still think that this Heat team could find a way because of what we've seen recently with injured star theory. Shout out to everyone on my Discord as well watching. Shout out to everyone watching, bro. Hit the like button. NBA Bang today. Let's keep it going. Let's go. Jordan, what do you think about the Cavs and the Heat tonight? Offensive efficiency, we know that Miami they're a better team when it comes to assist to turnover ratio. They share the ball. It defies modern basketball the way this Cavs team has been winning games, you know? It's much tougher, which is a good thing. Trotting out multiple bigs that essentially can't shoot and spread the floor. And they're just smashing teams. They essentially took Porzingis. Porzingis was too soft to play against the Cavs the other night. You say Cavs keep it close? This is a live betting event. I like the under in this game. But let's see if we can get a better number in game. Because this sounds very strange. If the Heat were playing their normal roster, this game would go under. Based on recent trends, this game would go under. But we're seeing the benches in the NBA come out juiced when key guys are out, pushing these totals over. All right, I'm going to get to the Hawks game now. Have a play to add as well. I still have Hawks first half money line. Sorry, I was getting a phone call as well. So yeah, moving on to the Hawks game. One of a prop that I like in this game is Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter over 11.5 points, or even his 3 points prop of over 1.5, which is more juiced. But I think Kevin Huerter will hit over 11.5 points. I think with a tighter rotation that this Hawks team could still get out a victory today against this Pacers team. But I feel better taking them in the first half. A prop I really like in this one is Kevin Huerter. I think Kevin Huerter and John Collins are going to give Trae Young support he needs in this scenario. I don't trust this Pacers team. They're mobbed out. I'm telling you, this Pacers team's mobbed out. Shocking home loss to the Knicks. They're a bit undermanned. Cam Reddish is out. Now, Cam Reddish does bring another dynamic to this Hawks team. You know? He's able to play on both sides of the ball. He's able to defend the pick and roll effectively in multiple scenarios. Even when the team is forced to switch, he's able to absorb any blow defensively. Like, he's really on the rise defensively, Cam Reddish. But with him out of the lineup and Bogdanovich out of the lineup, you know, it's going to be much more action with pick and roll action, Trae Young, bread and butter pick and roll action. And because of the added attention that Trae Young is going to get tonight, I think it's going to free up opportunities for John Collins and Kevin Huerter tonight. I like both of them to go over their points prop totals. No, honestly, Tierra, that is a solid opinion. It's better to not even bet on Pacers and 76ers games in the regular season. It's much better to just ignore their games completely. Nothing normal will happen. I guarantee in this game, an erratic live betting incident will happen. A team will go up by 15. Something crazy will take place. All right? I think we're going to get points, though. Even with Bogdanovich out tonight, I think we're going to get points in this one. Let me pull up the team totals, see if we can find some value. I think the Hawks-Pacers game has a shot to go over 217. Let's check out the movement. Opened at 218, it's dropped. This Pacers defense played very well against the T-Wolves, okay? But the T-Wolves don't have a bench. The Hawks bench is better than the T-Wolves bench, not by much, okay? But I do think that pace-wise, after halftime, this Hawks team has a different pace after halftime. The Pacers defensively are not going to be able to stop the pick and roll action of Trae Young and Clint Capella. I really believe that's going to be a potent weapon for the Hawks tonight against the Indiana Pacers. Okay, it's going to keep them on their heels, and frankly, the Hawks are going to get to the free throw line enough to possibly push this game over. The Hawks are going to get to the free throw line enough to possibly push this game over. Now that does align with the props. Kevin Huerter and John Collins. It aligns with the props. That's about it for me in that game. If the Hawks go down big, you might get a better number in this game. I do not see the Hawks getting blown out in this scenario. So let's say the Pacers do jump out to a good start, okay? I have a pending bet on Hawks first half. Let's say doomsday scenario, Pacers get off to a better start. I would snatch the Hawks +5, +6, +7 if they do get off to a better start, because they did get off to a better start, a good start against the T-Wolves. They shot lights out in the first half, okay? I think there's going to be a reversal in this game. The Pacers will get off to a flat start at home. Akbar says Porzingis will play. Okay, Porzingis needs to step it up tonight against the Pelicans. Valanciunas can't wait to play Porzingis tonight. Valanciunas can't wait to play Porzingis tonight. Let's talk about that game. Let's talk about that Dallas Mavericks and New Orleans Pelicans game. A game that we can accurately cap. There's not much injury report manipulation taking place. Okay, now we know that this Pelicans team has been rejuvenated since the integration of Brandon Ingram. That's essentially what it's been. Ever since Brandon Ingram has come back, this team has been moving brand new, the Pelicans. They've been snatching results. That game on the road against the Jazz woke a lot of people up. They had to correct their spreads. They just knocked off the Clippers. Okay, so they have a lot of young players that are playing for contracts, okay? A couple of players that have already got their money that are trying to prove themselves in the league, all the way to the 12th end of the roster, the 12th player on the roster. Okay? They got off to almost a historically bad start. Luka should be able to apply pressure on this backcourt tonight. Considerable pressure. But with the way Valanciunas is playing and this suspicious spread, it's hard to back the Mavs, although I want to. Like, system-wise, like, I capped this game earlier, I lean towards the Mavericks. It's -3.5. It's a small spread, though. It might be safer to get them early in this game. Strange things are happening in these New Orleans home games. As you can see, they flipped to the point of now being above 500 ATS. They're 6-4 ATS, the New Orleans Pelicans. Defeating the Clippers on the road, which is slowly becoming less and less meaningful, okay? They beat the Jazz on the road. Super dog that night. I got the sunset. Facts. Let's go. Go Suns. Book that futures ticket, man. Just sprinkle it. Why not? look at the futures board right now to win the title or just come out of the West. They still have the Lakers ahead of the Suns. You know, they still have the Lakers ahead of the Suns. So while that value is there, while the media is still brainwashing everyone, get some value, bro. Protect yourself from your Warriors ticket that I know everyone booked. Protect yourself from the Warriors tickets that I know everyone booked. Take Suns plus 1,300. Okay? The team's tough. Let's get back to this Mavs game. I like Tim Hardaway Jr.'s points prop in this game. Let me see what it's updated to. I have projected Tim Hardaway to have a much better performance tonight than he put forth against the Cavaliers, which was disgusting. Tim Hardaway is going off against the Pelicans, win or lose tonight. Sorry, just sent a retweet. Hey, if you follow me on Twitter, at My Guy Knows the Guys, retweet the show if you can, and hit like for me and retweet the link. Subscribe to the channel. I'm saying so much stuff. I'm excited for these games. There's a lot going on my screens right now. There's screens behind screens. There's lights on lights. Let's keep going. How's it going, Joseph? Yeah, that's what I was pulling up, the update for the Mavs game. Pacers starting lineup is out. Duarte is starting tonight with LeVert, Sabonis. They're putting us forth a strong lineup tonight. Porzingis will not have a minutes restriction tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. He said Christian Wood's going nuts, I'm telling you. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, Hardaway is a player that I've projected to have a decent game tonight. Let me get the accurate number for everyone. So we have Tim Hardaway, his points prop for tonight. I thought it was 17.5 or 18.5, but let me just I don't know why it's taking so long. 15.5. Yeah, I like Tim Hardaway 15.5. Facts. And his threes as well. 1.5. I like Tim Hardaway Jr. over 15.5 points today. I'm going to bet that now. 76ers, Omar. I lean Sixers to win. But I think Danny Green over 1.5 threes might be a better play in that one. Danny Green over 1.5 threes. So yeah, I lean Dallas Mavericks minus 3.5. Not betting it right now. I did lock in. That's why I paused. I locked in the Tim Hardaway points prop and his 3-point prop. The 3-point prop I bet for less. I locked that in. Hopefully it's not a strange game. This is a resurgent New Orleans Pelicans team. Moving on to the Bucks and the Hornets. Worst defense in the league, the Charlotte Hornets. The only team with points totals still set like it's still last year. 230 was regular last year, 235. This was nothing. We wouldn't even looked at this sideways. 231 in this current environment is shocking. But we zoom in to the totals and the totals performance of the Charlotte Hornets. Just look at it over time. Look at the amount of points that this team is allowing. 133, 146. They did tighten up on their previous road stretch, but the schedule was a bit easier, playing the Magic, the T-Wolves at that time. It's atrocious defense. How can you be so good offensively and so bad defensively. It's not just pace. It's the lack of interior presence. It's a poorly constructed roster when it comes to their interior presence. Hey, what's up, Sosa? I'll send you the link if you want to jump on. Come share some pics. Talking about the Bucks right now and the Hornets. Oh, yeah, so in this game, I just don't think, Giannis individually, he's going to get his in this game. The 9-point spread, I don't want to call it a sleepy spot, but let's see if the Bucks crush these guys. You're going to get an extra amped up Charlotte Hornets team tonight, and I think that only leans more towards them competing in the early onset of the game, okay, for the Hornets. Over the course of 4 quarters, they're not going to be able to stop Giannis. They're not going to be able to stop Giannis. Giannis going for 40. He should go for 40 against this soft interior defense. He should go for 40 tonight. I lean towards Hornets early. Miles Bridges points prop, though. That's a play. For the matchup, there's going to be a lot of defensive attention on Terry Rozier today. Who's got the number? Miles Bridges is going over his points prop total tonight. I project that. 17.5 at plus money. As long as they don't get blown out, I think he'll get that number. This is facts. I think he'll hit his 3-point prop as well. Throwing out a few props for today. Miles Bridges over 1.5 threes. Danny Green over 1.5 threes. I'll tweet some of these plays out. I know not everybody has time to watch. I'll tweet some of these plays out, and I appreciate everyone watching right now. Come to get some plays, come to get some insights from some of these NBA games. Maybe we'll stick around. Oh, you're eating? They drafted him for nothing. Holy, they won't even develop him. At least throw him to the Wolves, see what you got. They only want to put him in when they're up by 30 or down by 30. They have to be up by 30 or down by 30 for that guy to get some burn. It's crazy. It's sad. Fire the GM. Straight up. Yeah, what you guys think about Miles Bridges over 1.5 threes and Danny Green over 1.5 threes? Danny Green's a hated guy. Rockets are hot, but I think Josh Giddey being out is a net positive today. Just matchup wise. I'm not praising the Rockets or anything, but it's tough to envision. It's tough to envision this Rockets team winning that many games in a row. And conversely, it's tough to envision the Thunder shooting that poorly from 3 today. The other day, they shot, 2 for 30? 2 for 30? Come on. So, yeah, I do like Miles Bridges over 1.5 threes. I locked that in. Let's roll some 3-points props tonight. I think some players that had mini slumps are going to hit their targets. Still waiting for this. I don't know why. Is it because of the Porzingis news? It's off the board. Help me out, someone watching in the chat. Pull up the Tim Hardaway Jr. of the Dallas Mavericks 3-points prop for tonight. 3-points prop tonight. We're going to get to that Kings-Clippers game. I have thoughts on the Kings-Clippers game. We have a luxury of talking about some of the later games with no rush up until the 7 o'clock hour because essentially they haven't started yet. It's a good thing we talked about the other games. If you're just joining us now, maybe you can rewind, catch out some of the insight for the other plays. All you've really missed, I've added Kevin Huerter, 11.5 points. I've added Miles Bridges over 1.5 threes, Danny Green over 1.5 threes. I like T-Wolves in the first half. Spread. I still think the Heat could get it done, and the 76ers could get it done. I didn't bet on the Sixers. Chilled out on their regular season games. Who's live betting tonight? It's 2.5. Okay, thank you. I think maybe the book I was looking at, it just temporarily went down now that they said that Porzingis is for sure going into play, right? So let me pull up some last-second injury news for everyone as well. I'm sure you have the same access as well, using Underdog NBA right now, and using RotoWire for the lineups. Josh Giddey's going to be out for 2 games for the Thunder. Nothing new has come out. We already have the Pacers starting lineup. We have the Wizards starting lineup. We know Dinwiddie's back. The Thunder lineup is out as well. Baisley's in, okay? Let's talk about that Thunder game. I know, let's plug our nose for a second. Let's talk about the Thunder game. Thunder and the Rockets, because I think the Thunder will get these guys today. Yeah, this Rockets team has been on a tear. Point differential over the course of the last 3 games, +7. OKC -7. Points per game even. Just look at the lopsided difference in points per game, in absolute points per game. 122 to 97. Like, ever since we started seeing the reports of Steven Silas possibly losing his job for the Rockets, this team is essentially rallied around themselves. They're much more pick and roll action between Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood. Christian Wood should essentially get his numbers again. This Thunder team does not have a center. They're playing, Jerome Robinson-Earl. Although he is somewhat of a rebounding machine in his own right, it's not the machine that Wood is, okay? It's just now that they're it's like you said, Sosa, they're fighting for him. They're fighting for him, and they tightened up the rotation. Another key thing about this Houston Rockets team, if you've noticed during this mini winning streak, Daniel Tice hasn't played. They've realized that Tice and Wood cannot coexist. It essentially took them to lose 15, 16 games in a row. How many games did they lose in a row? For them to realize that Daniel Tice has no place in Houston. He's still a decent trade target for some teams, but him being off the court is a net positive. For sure, JRE's going crazy. I mean, he's sort of in that Moses Moody come-up role, the come-up role. He's taking advantage of the opportunity that's been granted to him, So I think Houston and OKC might be trappy. We should think OKC is out for revenge. I'm not sure. But with the Giddey news out, I think people are betting the Rockets in this scenario. You guys want to laugh? Let's look up some of their matchup stats, like how high they rank in certain sectors in the league. Okay, points per game. This Rockets team is 26th in the league. They're obviously slowly changing that over the course of the last 3 or 4 games. Scoring margin, they're still -8.5. But when it comes to the actual matchups on the court in this game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was applying pressure on the Rockets in the last game. He was getting what he wants in scenarios. He went over his points prop total. I actually liked it that day. But this team must shoot better at home today, the Thunder. Can't go 2 for 50. Lou Dort has been a player that's been hitting his 3 points prop over the long haul. Could be an insane amount of bricks. Could be another under. And then I think we have 109 for the team total. It's 109 for the team total for the Thunder. They've gone under that team total, I think, 18 out of 20 games this season. So, I don't know. This Thunder team is the exact opposite of a potent offense. if they can get back to above average 3-point shooting for just a game, they'll win this game. They will win this game. They did almost everything else right. I watched that game against the Rockets. My eyes were hurting after the game watching that game. Okay? My eyes were hurting. Baisley has been a dud, just like you said, Leroy on points props. I look towards Lou Dort, though. Lou Dort is a player that's been consistently hitting his 3-point prop until the last game. Over 2.5 for Lou Dort 3-pointers is plus 110. I think it's a go. Lou Dort over 1.5 3-pointers made. No, over 2.5. I'm sorry, everyone. Over 2.5 is plus 110. He's going to jack it up. Let's pull up his box score over his game logs for the last couple of games, just to get an idea of the volume from when I looked at the game earlier. Yeah, he attempted 6 threes, attempted 12 threes, 8 threes, 9 threes. He hit 4, 3, 5. The last 2 games he regressed, but the Wizards have a pretty good perimeter defense. The Rockets are trending in the right direction. He's playing another team that he has familiarity against in the Rockets. The previous Rockets game on November 17th, he hit 4 threes, okay? This could be a boost situation. He scored 34 points, his season high. His season high this season came against the Rockets, So it's clear to see that in that game the other day, the Rockets had a defensive game plan for Lou Dort. He was respected. After he dropped 36 on their head top, 34, to correct myself. The other night, the Rockets, they threw the kitchen sink at him defensively. And Shea missed all his threes. That's my after-the-fact rationalization for what happened. Give me the Thunder tonight and Lou Dort's threes. I know no one's probably telling that one. A couple of games about to tip off at 7 o'clock. Nuggets Magic about to tip off 7 o'clock. Hawks Pacers tipping off 7 o'clock. Hawks Pacers, I have first half money line. It's up to plus 105 right now. I like them full game as well, even with a tight rotation, but might look to partake in that live to see if, let's say there's a scenario where we don't cash the first half. That would mean that they're down by margin, the Atlanta Hawks, meaning we can get a better in-game spread on the Atlanta Hawks. Okay? What's up, Armstrong? Oh, yeah, I've got Kevin Huerter in that game as well. I like John Collins as well. Let's see if they can apply pressure on this Indiana Pacers team. Sabonis has been going crazy. Let's see who imposes their will. The bench for the Hawks is a little light tonight, but hey. Hey, Marcelo, what's up? Yeah, I could do a recap. Give me a second. The other game coming on as well, Nuggets Magic. I did not actually place money on that game. Okay. Maybe Jokic over 1.5 threes, though. Maybe Wendell Carter points. So, yeah, we're talking about this Rockets-Thunder game. Thanks for everyone watching right now. Hit the like button. It's NBA Betting Today. Talking about this Rockets-Thunder game, actually. I think Lou Dort's going to hit his points and threes. I'm taking the threes. I'm going to sprinkle it. The Lou Dort over 2.5 threes. Historically bad three-point shooting performance the other night for the OKC Thunder. I think the Thunder will be up at the half as well. Yeah, Baisley's got to give us more as well. But Dort is the one that I trust because his volume for his shot attempts has been there consistently. He's been the consistent number 2 scoring option behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's putting up multiple shots per game. So yeah, I'll take a risk with Lou Dort, 2.5 threes. And yeah, how about the Suns? Suns, we already know Mikal Bridges had the greatest 2-point game ever. It's just a regular season game. It's essentially a glorified exhibition game. The Warriors will try to come back with a vengeance this weekend on Friday night. It's unfortunate Devin Booker was hurt. Jay Crowder stepped up. Just giving you a quick recap on that just because you asked. And yeah, the Suns are for real. Don't discount the Suns. Don't discount the Suns. And place some futures tickets on them just in case. Just in case. We know the Lakers might figure it out later in the season. They do have top-heavy superstar talent. The Warriors, Klay Thompson's coming back. But still take play some Suns futures. That's my play some Suns futures. Watch out, though, on Friday night. If Devin Booker's questionable, I think he's going to be out, though. But if he's questionable, I don't know. What's the line even going to be? Is the whole world going to take the Warriors? Is it going to be that easy? Let's see. I'm just saying it now. I'm putting it in the air right now. Let's move on to this Clippers-Kings game, and then I'll recap for everyone that's joining us now. We have like 2 games tipping off right now as well. If I'm still on the stream, I can monitor the score. There might be an opportunity on the game. Let's see how it goes. Move on to this Clippers game. Everyone that watched, I appreciate everyone that watched my short clip earlier today with the Paul George 3-point props. We got slaughtered by the modern NBA injury report manipulation machine. I'll call it what it is. Okay? Paul George, they assessed that they can defeat the Kings tonight without Paul George's services. To the detriment of Clippers bettors all over the place. People that took -7. I'm not going to say they're shitting bricks, but let me tell you about this Kings team, though. They are so bad. I lean towards Clippers to cover tonight. I lean towards Clippers to cover tonight without Paul George. All right, -5.5. We might get an elite performance from Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard tonight. They might go crazy in Crypto.com arena. Hit the like button. Contrarian team total over for the Clippers, over 110. They shoot the lights out tonight without Paul George and destroy the Kings. The Kings are the worst team in professional sports. Steve Ballmer doesn't need Paul George to cover on the Kings today. What's going on, Mike Bonaducci? What's going on, Sheldon? Let me pull up the odds on SportX, get you guys some of the later lines right now. Recap some of the picks. I'm going to tweet some stuff out. Got the Hawks game popping off in a second. It's true. The Kings are the worst team in professional sports. Give me 1 second, everyone. Let me get a glass of water. We're going to recap these picks. Agua. What's going on, everyone? I'm back. It's NBA betting today. It's my guy knows a guy. Let's try to defeat the markets. Let's try to project the outcomes. Let's take all the trash teams' team totals under. Worse than the Lions? It's close, bro. It's close. Between the Lions, if you think about it, it's close. The Lions and the Kings are the worst teams in professional sports. The Padres, you can't forget the Padres. You can never forget the Padres. And and the Browns. You know? The Browns at least have some sort of relevance in the last couple years. Couple number one picks, Baker Mayfield, Let's get back to this NBA though. The Kings are definitely in the dirt though. Let's pull up the updated odds. It is 7 p.m. It's NBA betting today. If anyone's joining right now, I did add some 3-point props today. Miles Bridges 3-point prop, over 1.5. Danny Green 3-point prop, over 1.5. I like both of them. Tim Hardaway Jr., 3-point prop, over 2.5. I also like his points prop, over 15.5. Okay? I like the Clippers tonight. I somehow think the Clippers can get these guys today, bro. Let's see how some of the early games go. All right. You see someone's dropping bags on the game already. $17,000. What else do I have that I added? I just said Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges points as well. Maybe less on that. Just in case there's a blowout factor. I think the 1.5 threes is relatively, achievable. It's easily obtainable. Lou Dort over 2.5 threes as well. I think that's in play as well. Okay, when it comes to game winners tonight, I'm not sure about covering. I've got the Nuggets winning. I think the Hawks can take this one, but I was more comfortable taking it early in the game. They're shorthanded. We need a shorter rotation tonight. We need a big performance from Clint Capella tonight. All right, I think the Sixers can win. I've got the Heat somehow pulling it out. The Mavs, Thunder. I think the Hornets can compete late. I think the Bucks will take that one though. And I've got the Clippers. It's just a lot of chalk, but hey, that's how it goes. Yeah, we can do that. We can do Twitter Spaces before the Clippers game. Let's see how these early games go. I'm feeling great. Hey, around 10 o'clock tonight Eastern, we'll do Twitter Spaces, audio chat. Everyone come join. Let's talk about that Clippers-Kings game that no one is going to want to talk about. Who's watching that Hawks game? It's about to start. Who's watching the Nuggets game and who's watching the Hawks game? Who's watching both? Who's watching both? We got underdog going off. The Celtics game, I don't know, big game from Embiid tonight maybe. Big game from Embiid tonight. I like the Sixers. I just said I'm not betting on their games in the regular season, but I'm telling everyone who's watching this right now I like the Sixers tonight. Sixers, tell some of my friends on Discord. Yeah, there's 40 college basketball games tonight. I know everyone's watching the festivities. This was actually really fun, though. This was actually really fun. Just sitting around talking the games, projecting the games, looking at the stats. Let's keep it going, everyone. Clippers for me. Gonna add that late. Got the Hawks pending right now. Gonna tweet out some plays on Twitter. I'm gonna get it together and tweet some plays on Twitter. I'll tweet some of the props on Twitter. Obviously, as you see, not too much in terms of full game sides tonight. Be careful. We can do some live betting as well. If I see a live bet I feel really strongly about, I'll share it. But I'm looking for certain scenarios right now. I'm trying to fine-tune some of the scenarios that I'm looking for in terms of live betting. And Paul George is a bum. Straight up. We are going to catch both of those props tonight. Yeah, that might be a go. Maybe Danny Green over 5.5 assists with... No, Marcus Smart over 5.5 assists with Danny Green over 1.5 threes. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting game. Very interesting game. Maybe the Rockets. In terms of totals, I think this Hawks game might go over. I'm actually closely monitoring the Hawks game for a live play. Here on SportX, when the game starts, you'll see the odds on the screen and the score as well, everyone. You will see the score and the odds on the screen right here on SportX in a couple of minutes, in a minute or two, when this Hawks game tips off. Let's see how they start. I'll even pull it up on my phone. Let's see how the Hawks come out today. Who's on it? Pulling up the NBA app. League Pass is life-changing right now, man.
When you come in down a starting
You hear them?
guard and Bogdanovich, an excellent wing defender in Cam Reddish. A lot of pressure, particularly on that man, Kevin Huerter, tonight, defensively and offensively to come through. Let's take a look at those starters.
Yeah,
Kevin is joined on the Toyota lineups by Trae Young.
People think the game goes over with Miles Turner out because of lack of defense. I think the game goes over with him in the game. Let's see how it goes. I'm looking at this Sixers-Celtics game a bit closer if we can squeeze out another play for that one, besides the Danny Green three-point prop. Got the Hawks on my screen. What are you guys watching? What are you guys betting in college basketball? Luau Cabarro. Hey, he's starting. Let me tell you guys about him. I know this is weird. Sosa, if you're still watching, you know. Luau Cabarro is supposed to be on an NBA roster. I think Brooklyn gave up on that guy. You guys remember in the bubble, he was going crazy. Even before the bubble. Virginia Tech money line, Texas Tech money line, okay. I'm tracking him. Eddie, Michael, Bradley. Said take Bradley. I'm just gonna tell some people on Twitter I'm still live for a few minutes. What do you guys think of shot? You guys don't. I'll stay live for a few more minutes. Stay live for a few more minutes or no? Let me know in the chat. We can still talk some games. Ask your questions as well. I want everyone to win. I truly appreciate everyone's time as well, sticking with the show as well. Been here for quite some time. Streaming is fun. I just have to make sure I stay hydrated. Villanova minus 9.5. Back-to-back threes by the Hawks. Louisville, let's go. Let's get it. Nuggets off to a quick 5-0 start. T-Wolves up 4-2. Pull up the live odds. We can fire some stuff off right now, so it doesn't even matter. I like T-Wolves in the first half. I like Hawks in the first half. Kevin Huerter just dropped a bucket. Hey, what I say, everyone, if you were watching, that's one of our plays. That's one of our plays, Kevin Huerter. Go Kevin Huerter. Go Hawks, straight up. Go Hawks. I'm putting up some more live odds. Live odds on the screen at SportX.bet. Marcus Smart over 1.5 threes. We could talk about some first quarter stuff as well, Hugo, for a couple minutes. I'm just gonna send a tweet out. Hey, this next tweet that I'm sending out, retweet it for me. Yeah, after a couple of minutes, I'm going to tweet out a couple of plays. I'm going to tweet out the Danny Green prop and the Miles Bridges prop as well. I like both of them to go over 1.5 threes. I'm not going to call them safe bets, but we just look at the style of play and the way that they've been playing. You know, Danny Green, this is the type of game where he'll hit 2 threes. There's going to be a lot of defensive. There's going to be a lot of defensive attention on Seth Curry tonight from the Boston Celtics. Win or lose, that's who they're going to be trying to tail. That's who they're going to be trying to double team off slip screens. That's what's going to happen tonight. Seth Curry, a lot of defensive attention. All right. Looks like a high-scoring game. What did I say? The Hawks. Sheesh, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on right now. Yeah, it could be a really low-scoring game. Could be a really low-scoring game with the Magic. It's 204.5 right now. You might want to take the under live. I don't know. They still haven't scored, the Magic. I don't see where many of their points are going to come from either. Quick 8-0 lead for the Nuggets. Got T-Wolves first half. That's cash. Kevin Huerter already has 4 points. Nuggets coming in hot. Thanks, John. Marcelo, are the Magic against 97 points? I don't think so. That's going to be tough today. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to be tough. I like the Clippers tonight without Paul George. It's going to be tough for the Magic to get to 97 points right now with the way they just started this game. They'll have to shoot lights out. It's only 3 minutes, but wait to see if the coach tells them to speed it up after this first timeout they just called. What's going on with the Hawks? Timeout in that game. Hawks with the free throw awarded. Yeah, I'll probably get out of here. So I'm pretty much going to roll with the some of the smaller props that I played. The Miles Bridges over 1.5 threes. Danny Green over 1.5 threes. I'm already on the Hawks first half right here. I'm on the T-Wolves first half as well. And let's see what else is going on. I like Lou Dort's threes as well, but that's a lot smaller. I think the Clippers are going to cover. I'm going to wait till later on. Yeah, I capped tomorrow's games already, Cam, for sure. But like 2 of the markets weren't even open. So, yeah, and in the Bucks game, what else do we have? Yeah, that's it. That's it for now. It's quite a few plays, actually. I'm going to wrap it up for now. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Let's hit them all. Let's hit them all. Hopefully the Hawks can pull off. Appreciate everyone watching, and hit the like button, and let's continue. See you guys tomorrow morning on YouTube. Make sure you have notifications on the channel as well. We'll go live. I'm going to go live at this time tomorrow and in the morning. And in the morning, I just get a little wary when I see the injury report stuff. So just stay posted on Twitter at My Guy Knows a Guy, NBA Betting Today on Twitter, and also right here on the channel on the other tab. We'll go live at different times, but we'll try to keep it right before the games to try to have the best information. And I'll give you some early looks earlier in the day as well. Hopefully we don't get slaughtered like the Paul George stuff today, but there's a lot of bets going on today. Let's. I like how the Hawks came out, though. I like how the Hawks came out. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, everyone. See you guys next time. It's My Guy Knows a Guy. I need to eat some dinner. Armstrong, Cameron, Marcelo, everyone that was here earlier, Sparks. Let's get it. I'm hungry.